In the vast and ever-evolving world of military technology, every so often a piece of kit comes along that completely rewrites the rulebook. It's not just an upgrade, it's a revolution. The Russian 3M-22 Zircon missile is exactly that. This isn't your garden variety rocket. It's a hypersonic cruise missile, a weapon that travels at such mind-boggling speeds that it challenges everything we thought we knew about modern defense systems. Imagine trying to hit a bullet with another bullet, but this one is moving many times faster than a rifle round and can change direction on a whim. That's the sort of challenge the Zircon presents, making it one of the most talked about and feared weapons in any arsenal today. The importance of the Zircon missile goes far beyond its technical specifications. It represents a major leap forward in offensive capability, giving the nation that wields it a significant strategic advantage. In naval warfare, where ships have long relied on layers of defense to protect themselves, the Zircon acts like a master key, capable of unlocking those defenses with sheer, unstoppable velocity. Its existence shifts the balance of power, forcing potential adversaries to rethink their entire defensive posture. It's a game changer, plain and simple, a tool of power projection that sends a clear message across the oceans. The old ways of fighting at sea are becoming obsolete. What makes the Zircon so significant is its ability to hold high-value targets at risk with very little warning. An aircraft carrier, the floating fortress that has been the cornerstone of naval power for decades, suddenly looks more vulnerable than ever. The time between detecting a Zircon launch and its impact is terrifyingly short, measured in minutes, not hours. This compressed timeline puts immense pressure on defenders, shrinking their decision-making window to almost nothing. It forces navies around the world to ask a very difficult question. How do you stop a weapon that is too fast to catch and too agile to predict? Ultimately, the Zircon is more than just a missile. It's a symbol of a new technological arms race. It has spurred nations to pour billions into developing their own hypersonic weapons and, just as importantly, to find a way to defend against them. This single weapon system has become a catalyst for innovation, pushing the boundaries of material science, aerodynamics, and computer processing. Its arrival on the world stage marks the beginning of the hypersonic era, a period where speed is the ultimate arbiter of military dominance. The Zircon is the spearhead of this new age, and understanding it is key to understanding the future of warfare. Every great invention has a backstory, a journey from a bright idea on a drawing board to a real-world piece of engineering. The story of the Zircon missile is rooted in Russia's long-standing ambition to challenge the naval supremacy of Western powers, particularly the United States. The development was spearheaded by a legendary Russian design bureau, NPO Mashinostroyenia, a group with a long and storied history of creating cutting-edge missile technology. The project began in earnest back in the early 2010s, a time when the concept of operational hypersonic weapons still felt like something from a science fiction film. The goal was ambitious: to create a missile that could fly faster and farther than anything before it, specifically to defeat advanced naval defense systems. The world first got a proper glimpse of this new weapon around 2015, when details began to emerge from official Russian circles. However, talk is one thing. Proving it works is another entirely. The real turning point came with the start of a rigorous testing phase. Between 2017 and 2018, Russia conducted a series of successful tests, launching the missile from various platforms and demonstrating its incredible capabilities. These early trials were shrouded in a degree of secrecy, but the message was clear. Russia was on the verge of fielding a weapon that many experts had thought was still years, if not decades, away from becoming a reality. The development timeline was remarkably swift for such a complex and groundbreaking system. The engineers at NPO Mashinostroyenia had to overcome immense technical hurdles, from designing an engine that could function at hypersonic speeds to developing materials that could withstand the extreme heat and pressure of flight. Each successful test was a major milestone, proving that their designs were sound. The culmination of this effort came in 2023 when the Zircon officially entered operational service. The frigate Admiral Gorshkov had the honor of being the first warship to be armed with this revolutionary weapon, marking its formal transition from an experimental prototype to a combat-ready system. This rapid progression from concept to deployment showcased Russia's commitment to modernizing its military with next-generation technology. The Zircon wasn't just a one-off project, it was part of a broader strategy to develop a suite of invincible weapons, as they were once described. By investing heavily in hypersonic research and development, Russia aimed to create an asymmetric advantage, a way to counter a numerically superior adversary with technological superiority. The birth of the Zircon was the most potent and tangible result of this strategic vision, a newly forged weapon ready to make its mark on the world. To truly appreciate what makes the Zircon so special, we need to pop the bonnet and have a look at the incredible engineering inside. At its heart is the missile's astonishing speed. The Zircon is reported to be capable of reaching speeds between Mach 8 and Mach 9. To put that into perspective, that's 8 to 9 times the speed of sound, or roughly 2 miles per second. At that velocity, it could travel from London to New York in under an hour. This extreme speed is achieved through a revolutionary propulsion system known as a scramjet, or supersonic combustion ramjet. Unlike a traditional jet engine that slows air down before combustion, a scramjet is designed to burn fuel in a supersonic airflow, allowing for incredible efficiency at hypersonic speeds. Alongside its blistering speed, the Zircon boasts an impressive range. While exact figures are closely guarded secrets, Russian sources claim it can strike targets up to 1,000 kilometers, or about 625 miles away. More conservative Western estimates place its operational range somewhere between 400 and 750 kilometers. Either way, this gives a launch platform, like a frigate or submarine, the ability to threaten enemy assets from a very safe distance. This standoff capability means the launching ship or sub can remain well outside the effective range of most anti-ship weapons, striking with near impunity while staying protected by its own defensive bubble. Of course, speed and range are useless if you can't hit your target. The Zircon employs a sophisticated guidance system to ensure it does just that. For the initial and mid-course phases of its flight, it likely relies on a combination of inertial navigation and satellite guidance, using Russia's GLONASS system. As it closes in on its target, it switches to an active radar seeker to home in for the final attack. This terminal guidance system allows the missile to find and lock onto its target, even a moving one like a ship at sea, with pinpoint accuracy. Some reports suggest it may also incorporate an infrared seeker to help distinguish the heat signature of a warship against the cold ocean. Finally, there's the payload it delivers. The Zircon is armed with a powerful, high-explosive warhead, estimated to weigh between 300 and 400 kilograms. While that might not sound enormous, the physics of its impact are devastating. The sheer kinetic energy of a 400-kilogram object hitting a target at 9 times the speed of sound is immense, capable of punching through the heavily armored hulls of even the largest warships. The combination of the explosive charge and the kinetic force ensures that a single Zircon hit can inflict catastrophic damage, potentially disabling or sinking a major naval vessel like an aircraft carrier or a destroyer. The true genius behind the Zircon missile isn't just its speed, it's the clever way it uses that speed to become almost impossible to intercept. Traditional missile defense systems, like the US Navy's Aegis combat system, are designed to follow a predictable 4-step process: detect, track, engage, and destroy. The Zircon is engineered to disrupt every single one of these steps. Its incredible velocity dramatically shortens the time defenders have to react. By the time a defending ship's radar even detects the incoming missile, it's already perilously close, leaving only a few minutes or even seconds for the entire defensive sequence to play out. But the Zircon doesn't just fly fast in a straight line. One of its most formidable features is its ability to perform radical maneuvers throughout its flight path. Even at hypersonic speeds, it can pull high G-turns and change its altitude, making its trajectory completely unpredictable. This is a nightmare for defensive systems, which rely on calculating an interception point based on a target's expected course. If the target is constantly jinking and weaving, predicting where it will be in the next few seconds becomes an almost impossible mathematical problem. Interceptor missiles simply can't adjust their own course fast enough to keep up with such an agile target. Adding another layer of complexity is a fascinating phenomenon that occurs at hypersonic speeds. As the Zircon tears through the atmosphere, the intense friction with air molecules creates a sheath of plasma around the missile. This plasma cloud has a unique property. It can absorb and deflect radar waves, effectively acting as a natural form of stealth technology. This plasma stealth can make it incredibly difficult for enemy radar systems to get a solid lock on the missile, further reducing the already slim chances of a successful interception. The missile becomes a ghostly, fleeting contact on a radar screen rather than a solid target that can be easily tracked and engaged. When you combine all these elements, the extreme speed that compresses reaction times, the unpredictable maneuvering that foils interception calculations, and the plasma sheath that reduces radar detectability, you get a weapon that seems almost untouchable. Most current missile defense systems were designed to counter slower, less agile, non-stealthy cruise missiles or ballistic missiles with predictable flight paths. They are simply not equipped to handle a threat that is as fast, nimble, and elusive as the Zircon. It's like trying to catch a hummingbird with a butterfly net. The tool is just not right for the job, giving the Zircon an almost guaranteed path to its target. A weapon's true measure is taken not on the drawing board or the test range, but in the heat of real-world operations. The Zircon missile has now made that leap, moving from a highly touted prototype to an active participant in military exercises, and more grimly, in actual combat. One of its notable appearances in a training scenario was during the Zapad Joint Strategic Exercise in September 2025. In a powerful display of its naval capabilities, Russia conducted a live-fire launch from the Northern Fleet frigate Admiral Golovko. Fired in the Barents Sea, the missile streaked across the sky and, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, scored a direct hit on its designated sea target, proving its effectiveness in a controlled but realistic operational environment. The Zircon's transition to a battlefield weapon has been most evident in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Originally designed as a ship killer, the missile has been repurposed by Russian forces for land attack roles, turning this naval sword into a terrestrial hammer. This adaptation serves a dual purpose. It allows Russia to strike high-value, well-defended targets deep inside Ukraine, and it provides an invaluable opportunity to test the weapon's performance under combat conditions. One of the first alleged uses was in a strike on Kyiv in February 2024, signaling to the world that Russia's hypersonic arsenal was not just for parades, but was being actively deployed. These combat deployments have provided crucial data, not just for Russia, but for Western observers as well. While some strikes have been reported, others have allegedly been less successful. For instance, a reported launch in August 2023 aimed at critical infrastructure in the Sumy region apparently failed to hit its intended target. More recently, in a significant development in February 2026, Ukrainian forces claimed a major success. They stated that their US-made MIM-104 Patriot air defense systems managed to intercept 2 Zircon missiles launched from Crimea. This claim, if fully verified, would be the first known successful interception of a Zircon in combat, and would mark a critical moment in the cat-and-mouse game between hypersonic offense and air defense. The use of Zircon in Ukraine, whether successful or not, sends a powerful strategic message. It demonstrates that Russia is willing and able to use its most advanced weapons. Each launch is a real-world trial that provides engineers with data to refine the system and tacticians with insights on how best to employ it. For Ukraine and its allies, it presents an urgent and deadly threat, accelerating the demand for the most advanced air defense systems available. The battlefields of Ukraine have become the ultimate proving ground, where the theoretical power of the Zircon is being tested against the harsh realities of modern warfare. The introduction of a weapon like the Zircon doesn't just happen in a vacuum, it sends powerful ripples across the entire landscape of global military strategy. For decades, the backbone of Western naval power has been the aircraft carrier strike group, a floating fortress built around a massive carrier and protected by a screen of cruisers and destroyers. The Zircon was designed with one primary target in mind. This very strike group, its ability to potentially bypass sophisticated defenses, like the Aegis system, puts these multi-billion-dollar assets at a level of risk they haven't faced in generations. This forces naval commanders to rethink their fundamental doctrines and strategies. This new threat has ignited a sense of urgency among Western nations and their allies. The United States and other NATO members are now heavily invested in a race to develop their own hypersonic weapons to maintain a credible deterrent. But just as important is the race to create effective countermeasures. The challenge is immense, requiring a whole new generation of sensors, interceptors, and command and control systems capable of dealing with the unique threat profile of hypersonic missiles. The operational use of Zircon is a powerful motivator, pushing research and development in counter-hypersonic technology from a theoretical exercise into an urgent operational necessity. The strategic impact of the Zircon is also felt in the realm of deterrence and power projection. By equipping its frigates, destroyers, and submarines with these missiles, Russia can create no-go zones for adversary naval forces in critical maritime regions like the North Atlantic, the Mediterranean, and the Pacific. Any ship entering these zones would have to operate under the constant threat of a hypersonic attack with almost no warning. This enhances Russia's ability to influence events far from its own shores, and serves as a powerful deterrent against potential military intervention in regions it considers vital to its national interests. Furthermore, the Zircon's deployment has significant implications for arms control and strategic stability. The speed and dual capability, conventional or potentially nuclear, of hypersonic weapons can blur the lines between conventional and nuclear conflict. creating ambiguity and increasing the risk of miscalculation during a crisis. A defending nation might not be able to determine the nature of the warhead on an incoming hypersonic missile until it's too late, potentially leading to a catastrophic escalatory response. This makes the Zircon not just a tactical weapon, but a profoundly destabilizing strategic one, forcing nations to pay very close attention to its proliferation and use. In the long history of military innovation, from the longbow to the stealth bomber, certain technologies emerge that fundamentally alter the nature of conflict. The 3M22 Zircon missile has firmly established itself as one of these transformative developments. It is far more than just a faster missile. It represents the maturation of hypersonic weapons from theoretical concepts into tangible, battlefield-ready systems. Its combination of extreme speed, maneuverability, and standoff range creates a tactical dilemma for which there is currently no easy or foolproof answer. The Zircon has effectively set a new, incredibly high bar for offensive missile technology. The legacy of the Zircon will be defined by the technological race it has instigated. Its existence has forced a global reassessment of defensive strategies and spurred a massive investment in the development of counter-hypersonic systems. This includes everything from advanced space-based sensors that can detect and track hypersonic threats from launch, to new types of high-energy interceptors and directed energy weapons designed to neutralize them in flight. The Zircon has, in effect, kicked off a new chapter in the age-old contest between the sword and the shield, pushing both offensive and defensive technologies into uncharted territory. More broadly, the Zircon's arrival heralds a new era in modern warfare where speed is the dominant factor. In this new paradigm, the ability to act and react within an opponent's decision-making cycle, to strike before they can even process the threat, is the ultimate advantage. This shift will influence not only weapon design, but also military doctrine, command structures, and the very way nations think about projecting power. Future conflicts may be won or lost in the handful of minutes it takes for a hypersonic weapon to travel from its launch point to its target, making rapid, automated decision-making more critical than ever before. Ultimately, the Zircon serves as a powerful reminder that technological superiority is never permanent. It has challenged the established order and demonstrated that a determined nation can develop capabilities that threaten even the most powerful militaries. Whether it is used as a tool of deterrence, a tactical weapon in regional conflicts, or a catalyst for a new global arms race, the Zircon's impact is undeniable. It is a major step in the evolution of weaponry, a true game-changer whose influence will be felt for decades to come, shaping the strategies, technologies, and very nature of 21st-century warfare.